So they are passing private university. That means each university separate act is created in the assembly, passed in assembly, act is there. Such universities we have 145. Only 45 have recognition of UGC. Remaining 100 universities, they don't have recognition from university. But education is a concurrent list. State government is also powers to provide education to the state people. That's why, except UGC can only request them to go for recognition. Otherwise, they can't stop awarding degrees. So this is the status of education, and 300 state universities we have in the country. In Andhra Pradesh, highest number of universities. We have 33 universities in Andhra Pradesh, and most of them facing difficulties about grants. Osmania University, one of the biggest university, where I am alumni from that, they got hardly in the plan period about 22 crores or 25 crores from UGC. And other state universities get only 5 or 6. So it is difficult. Government also not supporting in a big way, state government. That's why central universities get about 200 to 300 crores each university, whereas state universities gets only about 10 to 20 crores. So that's why state universities are finding extremely difficult because they don't have resources. That's why resorting to the distance education mode, affiliation fee, and other means of mobilizing resources. And entire country, we have 30 to 40% teacher vacancies are there. Faculty recruitment is a very alarming situation. We have nearly many universities, there are 50%, but in general 30 to 40% vacancies are there, faculty vacancies. So this also affecting the quality of education provided in this country. Coming to AICT is concerned, we have 3,800 plus colleges in this country, engineering institution, apart from number of pharmacy, MBA, MCA, hotel management, architecture, all that. But about 16,000 seats are available in engineering. Out of that, only 13 lakhs seats are filled, and only every year about 12 lakh students are graduating in this country. So the employable ratio is only 23% are employable, because the UNESCO report and CIA report says that rest of the student doesn't have skill base to get employment. So recently, April 2013, Supreme Court gave a judgment. Earlier we have 2004 Bharatidasan judgment is there. That means AICT has no jurisdiction over universities for approval of courses. That's why universities doesn't need approval from AICT, but if they want scholarships for MTech students, they need to get approval. Recent judgment of April 2013, judgment some people appealed in management institution in 2004, but judgment came only recently, April 2013, stating that Supreme Court clearly mentioned that technical education, that is the AICT has cannot regulate the universities, nor affiliate colleges. Affiliate colleges are under university, so university can alone regulate, but not AICT. Because of that, the AICT now pursuing with the Government of India, MHRD, particularly to issue ordinance. But the ordinance was prepared. Ordinance has cleared by cabinet, it has gone to cabinet secretariat, but some law ministry that time advised not to go for ordinance. Then act is to be amended if you want to provide teeth to the AICT, but I think Government of India is seriously thinking about passing an act in the parliament is a problem now, because so many bills are pending. At least before election it's not possible. Meanwhile, MHRD had a meeting with the appointed 3-member committee, myself, there is a Dr. Dande, who is former director of IIT Kanpur, and Professor Ansari, he was a Chief Information Commissioner of Jammu and Kashmir. So 3-member committee, we only for interim period, this 1 year. So this how to regulate this private institution, providing approval process. So these, in fact, regulations we prepared on 31st, and it's coming before commission on 10th of this month. So this is the status, only interim period. Later, I think new government will take a decision how we should go about the regulation and of the technical institution in this country. And for the present policy, accreditation is concerned, UGC passed the accreditation bill. That means all the universities within 3 years, they have to get accredited by NAC. NAC also, they have Bangalore, National Assessment Accreditation Council under UGC. Like that, similar 5 institutions are creating a different place in the country to address number of universities will go for accreditation. And similarly for technical institutions, we have NBA, National Board of Accreditation for program. NBA is given for program, where NAC is given for college or a university. So that accreditation bill is coming in. And coming to the distance education, number of universities in this country, state university particularly, the resources are limited, government grants are limited. That's why they heavily depend on distance education courses. But Andhra Pradesh universities, we have a act is prohibits them to operate outside Andhra Pradesh. They can operate their jurisdiction only. Suppose Usmania University there, we can operate only in 9 districts of Telangana. We cannot offer courses outside Andhra Pradesh. So, but online courses we can offer. That's why there is a DEC used to be there. DEC, IGNO, by chance is the chairman of DEC, and MHRD and UGC, AICTE representative in that. But that also abolished. Several problems came. Now DEC also, now distance education also came under fold of UGC. So we are also framing guidelines for distance education in this country. There is a Madhav Menon committee is appointed. They have given recommendation. And subcommittee, myself as well as Praveen Prakash from Andhra Pradesh IAS cadre and UGC chairman, 3-member committee is there. We are working on how we should go about distance education program in this country. So these are the, apart from that, you know, we have RTA Act is very active, Right to Information Act. Everybody has to give information, government or private, anybody. That is one problem. Court intervention in higher education, private institution, regulation, court intervention is there. Vigilance cases are there, central vigilance, state vigilance. So several factors are there. It is very active last 3-4 years. Keeping this in mind, regulations are framed to avoid any legal complication, not to harass any private institution. Coming to our friends, in fact, as it true, Dr. K.V. Rao mentioned, there are 5 bills are pending in Parliament. One is the Tribunal Bill, Malpractice Tribunal Bill. Tribunal Bill is pending, Foreign Education Bill is providing, National Council for Higher Education Research Bill is there, and some 5 bills are pending because the various stages are they've been held up. Okay, I think the future government, I don't think this present government is able to take any decision on this because last year they're pending. So new government, whichever comes, and Bharatiya Janata Party, which is the biggest party, who gives a policy direction for higher education, I think they should debate, particularly subcommittee be constituted in the party so that deliberate upon. I think this will be useful. These inputs are coming from here are ground level inputs, their apprehension, their problems, how are faced. I think I request Muralidhar to please take in the discussion in the party affairs so that they can participate in the parliamentary discussion so that policy could be framed. Because the UGC also, even though autonomous institution, but they have to go by MHRD minister guidelines. They cannot overtake. That's why policy framing is an important aspect which is to be considered.